Good Tuesday morning to you all. I am Ryan and this is Michigan Storm Chasers. Update video for you all on how the week is looking. Let's go ahead and start with today. It's Tuesday, August 5th. We have a couple areas in Michigan that may have a few pop-up storms throughout the day today. Before we jump into this video, I want to give a shout out to today's sponsor. It is Schneider Commercial Building Solutions. For commercial roofing or building solution needs across the state of Michigan, get a hold of Schneider at 888-722-7027. Now, Tuesday, August 5th, we have two areas we're going to watch here in Michigan. Per the SPC, the western half of the UP falls within a general thunderstorm risk. We also have a general thunderstorm risk that sits south of the Michigan border into Ohio, but looking at model data and looking at the environment coming together this morning, would not be shocked we have a couple thunderstorms across that 94 corridor towards peak heating. So we're going to watch those two areas, western UP and very far southern lower Michigan. No hazards today for severe weather. It should just be general garden variety storms and rain showers. Overall, not widespread in nature, pretty isolated. So for the majority of us today, we'll be dry, but for those select localized areas, we'll have some pop-ups to worry about through the afternoon and evening hours. Going to the model here, again, models, I really do not like using these as like gospel forecasts because they've been so wrong. But overall coverage of storms and showers today on the model here are very, very sporadic in nature. Even the western UP misses out today. But we do have a couple showers down here by like Lansing and Jackson areas across the 94 corridor that could pop there as early as dinner time. So throughout the afternoon and evening, peak heating, we could have some form of lift that gets some showers and perhaps a thunderstorm up and going. So just keep that in mind. Like I said, localized in nature, not widespread. So for the majority of us, we'll be dry today in terms of the rainfall forecast. Now, going into the future, we are going to ramp up our humidity as well as our moisture and in fact, some storm chances as well. Going to tomorrow's outlook per the SPC, the entire state of Michigan falls in a general thunderstorm risk. Doesn't matter if you're up in the UP near Houghton, the Keweenaw Peninsula, over toward the Sault Ste. Marie, Gaylord, Detroit, Grand Rapids, Flint, you are in a risk for a general thunderstorm for tomorrow. Now, in terms of severe weather, we can never rule out severe weather with these general pop-up type of days. One or two storms may get an attitude and become strong with gusty winds, perhaps some hail as well. But overall, tomorrow should not be a widespread risk for severe weather, but we cannot rule out one or two storms across the state becoming strong to perhaps severe. So keep that in mind. Again, during these time frames, peak heating will be the typical time frame. So peak heating is when the sun is out, heating the atmosphere. 2 p.m. to about that 7 p.m. time frame is your main time frame, but it can happen a bit earlier or a bit later, but really peak heating 2 to 7 p.m. as of August 5th. All right, now going into day 3 outlook, Thursday, August 7th. Again, the entire state falls under a general thunderstorm risk. So beyond today, that risk becomes more widespread in nature. So we could have a couple days here of pop-ups in the state. Would expect Friday to be much of the same. In fact, there's actually a risk off to our west. You guys can't see on the map here. There's a risk way up there in like Minnesota where there is a slight risk for severe weather in place for the day 4 time frame. Nothing for Michigan at this time, but Saturday could also be a time frame to watch as that system kind of progresses towards us. So putting it all together here, the CSU learning model is a AI-driven probability-based model for severe weather. You can see the bar on the bottom there. That's your probability of severe weather, according to the map there. You can see this is Thursday, starting with Thursday. We're going to see the UP is sneaking in to perhaps a low risk for severe weather probabilities there. Not going to guarantee it's going to happen, but hey, we have a model here suggesting that, hey, we could have some probabilities in the UP. Let's fast forward to Friday. That risk is a low risk. It extends for the entirety of the UP into northern lower Michigan, but definitely the highest risk is off to our west in the plains as well as Minnesota. Now, going to day 5, which is Saturday, that highest risk kind of starts shifting further and further east. Now the UP is in the highest risk for severe weather for your Saturday. And the entire state is shown within a 5% probability corridor there, so low chance. And we go to Sunday, that risk then extends for pretty much the entirety of lower Michigan, but the UP is not included with this. But okay, this is not a official forecast. It's just a probability-based guidance model. What this is basically telling us here, what we're communicating to you guys, is we're going to be likely active with numerous days of, at very least, some scattered thunderstorm chances across the state, some of which could keyword could be strong or perhaps severe in nature. So be prepared for that. Again, nothing widespread is expected, but scattered chances each day past today into tomorrow and through the weekend for scattered showers and storms. Looking at our temperature forecast for the next several days here, going back this out to our 15-day outlook here. This is based out of Ann Arbor, and guess what? We are in the last stretch of low 80s temperatures. We're going to climb back up into the upper 80s, perhaps reaching 90 by the weekend, staying in the 90s, right around upper 80s, low 90s for the rest of the time period here. So, hey, we are going back up into a typical August-like feel, where upper 80s and low 90s are back to stay for a while. So enjoy the last couple of days here. Today, tomorrow will be right around the low to mid 80s, and then we're going to be in the upper 80s and low 90s from there on out for quite a while. So with that with that stretch of hotter temperatures, that's also going to bring in our humidity as well as storm chances. So do expect the last half of the month to contain several days that could have pop-ups with, again, strong and perhaps severe weather included. As far as anything organized like derechos or outbreaks of severe weather or tornadoes, I'm not seeing anything short term, which is good news. But again, these days can be sneaky, so we're never going to rule out an isolated instance of a tornado or severe weather happening. But we're not seeing anything organized that warrants like a slight risk or enhanced or moderate risk, anything like that locally here. So that's good news. But that's your forecast, guys. Overall, a pleasant summer-like day is on tap if you can tolerate the smoke out there. The smoke's not going anywhere, unfortunately. But after we get through the Wednesday time period, that should gradually begin to improve, at least short term. So hopefully we get some better conditions and we drop those air quality alerts before too much longer. All right, I'm going to wrap the video up there. You guys enjoy your day. I'll catch you on here if needed for coverage of severe weather, as well as any updates needed to the forecast. I'll catch you guys later. Enjoy your day. Stay safe and stay cool out there.